Celebrate the teachers making a difference. Nominate your favorite now at clickorlando.com/Educator of the Week and watch every Thursday morning as we spotlight a new Educator of the Week.
Sponsored by Osborne and Francis Law Firm, Real Tough Lawyers.
Now on News 6 at 5, a third school in the last week put on alert because of a threat.
My initial thought was, if I hear or see anything, I'm going to take action.
What we're now learning about a bomb threat at Lake Mineola High School. Plus, City of Orlando leaders are taking another step toward a memorial for the Pulse victims. We'll take a look at what took so long to get to this point, and
I do see people speeding mostly on 1792. I come that way daily.
Coming up at 5:30, the work being done in Seminole County to limit excessive speeding in Sanford. You're watching News 6 at 5.
It was an alarming day for students and their families at Lake Mineola High School.
The school on lockdown most of the day following a bomb threat. That threat later deemed not credible. News 6's Mike Valenti has been there all day and spoke with parents as they anxiously awaited news. He joins us now live. And Mike, that lockdown was lifted right before dismissal.
Yeah, guys, that's right. Good evening. Parents were able to be reunited with their kids around dismissal time shortly before 2:30. Some of those parents had been waiting outside for answers since about 10 a.m. That's around the time that we got here. And while we were waiting outside with them, deputies from Lake County Sheriff's Office were doing a thorough sweep of the campus behind me here at Lake Mineola High School. We did have a chance to speak to two parents on camera. They each have a freshman at Lake Mineola, and we want you to hear what today was like in their own words. You just heard from parents Autumn Burton and Adal Lopez in their own words. So again, that threat deemed not credible, but out of an abundance of caution, authorities did respond and do a thorough sweep of Lake Mineola. Lockdown was lifted shortly before dismissal, as I said, and the afternoon schedule for activities, despite all the concerns surrounding today, that schedule still proceeded as normal. Today's lockdown also affected some surrounding schools because of the law enforcement presence. There were several schools, including an elementary school around here, that went on a soft lockdown, but those lockdowns were lifted well before the lockdown here at Lake Mineola was lifted. Of course, if we get any more information about the investigation into this non-credible bomb threat, we will bring you the latest on air and online on clickorlando.com. For now, we're live outside Lake Mineola High School. I'm Mike Valenti, News 6.
All right, Mike, thank you. And this does mark the third time in the last week a school has been on some kind of lockdown in Central Florida.
On Wednesday, Matanzas High School in Palm Coast was placed on hold status. The sheriff's office looked into the potential presence of modified fireworks in a car near the campus. No arrests have been made. Then on Thursday, Lake Brantley High School in Altamont Springs was put on a code red because of a tip of a possible threat. Nearby Forest City Elementary School was also under a code red until the afternoon when officials called that tip a hoax.
And one day after those, security was increased at Seminole County Public Schools, and police got several tips about a disturbing social media video you're looking at here. According to the school, that video showed a person wearing a mask, making statements about vague schools, not any specific place. Students in Central Florida have reported seeing social media videos showing a guy wearing a yellow hockey mask threatening attacks. While officials say there isn't a direct threat to Seminole County schools, parents tell News 6 this has happened before.
This is not the first time it happened. This is not the second time it happened. After yesterday, when my son came home, I was like, how many times have you hid in a closet in school for a code? And he's like, I can't even tell you, Mom. And that's my oldest, who is a senior in high school. Ask my elementary school kids, they can tell you the same as well.
The district says the FBI is now investigating the video, but it wasn't referencing any particular area. I want to stress that. You can read more about it at clickorlando.com.
A house fire in Palm Bay left a 10-year-old boy and a 74-year-old woman dead. This happened around 2:20 this morning on Janus Road Northeast, west of I-95. Palm Bay Fire Rescue tells us the house was packed full of items, and investigators believe that gave fuel to the fire, which grew quickly. Fire officials say firefighters found a woman outside the home who said the two others were trapped inside. They say the extreme fire kept firefighters from getting inside. The woman and the 10-year-old boy named Noah died.
This has got a lot of layers to it, unfortunately. From a boots on the ground, first responder aspect of it, it's very, very difficult for them to want to do their job. And unfortunately, they just weren't able to do that.
The cause of that fire is still under investigation. Today, the city of Orlando advanced its plans for the permanent memorial at the Pulse nightclub site.
City Council approved an important part of the state's almost $400,000 grant for a memorial. It's a process 10 years in the making now. Your Orange County community correspondent Tylisa Hampton joins us live from the site. So Tylisa, you spoke to people who are most affected by this delay.
That's exactly right, Matt. For the last decade, it's been incredibly painful for those victims and family members of the victims that I spoke with. They say even seeing this building still here is a painful reminder, making it a difficult chapter to even try to close. However, today's vote, one step closer towards that healing process. However, some are still skeptical. All right, so the artifacts from Pulse, some of them were taken out last month and stored. And again, this is all that construction for the memorial, estimated to cost nearly $12 million. And it's slated to begin construction sometime next year. Everyone that you saw in that story, all of them live outside of Orlando, but willing to drop everything and talk to us today because they said this is an important topic and they want this to be discussed. Reporting for News 6, I'm Tylisa Hampton.
Tylisa, thank you. It was a chilly start to your work week today, and by the end of the week, it could be even chillier.
Yeah, much actually. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas is joining us now with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're talking coldest air of the season potential on this one coming down. Here's the outlook for the 18th to the 22nd of January, and the dark blue pretty much all over the Florida Peninsula and the southeast corner of the United States for that matter, indicating the high confidence that the Arctic is pretty much going to open up and really focus itself on the eastern third of the country. So here we go. Nice and cool out there right now. It is comfortably cool out there. 60 degrees in Mount Dora after the chilly start. Kissimmee, we are at 65. Titusville, we are at 68 degrees. It'll be a little warmer when you wake up tomorrow, not falling as far as what we did this morning. Air temperatures overnight dipping back into the upper 40s and lower 50s. That chill arrives in the middle to latter stages of this upcoming work week as a big cold front slides through. We're going to have the latest timeline on that front that also increases our rain chances for the first time in a while, coming up at about 5:17, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Well, President Trump says he's weighing potential military options against Iran as the government there tries to stop demonstrations.
Days of nationwide protests have led to a violent crackdown. CBS's Erica Brown reports from the White House.
3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff. Go SpaceX, go Starlink.
Another successful launch on the Space Coast this afternoon. Looking good there. SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket launched out of Cape Canaveral Space Force Station just before 4:10. We brought it to you live just about an hour ago. It sent another 29 Starlink satellites into Earth's low orbit. SpaceX says this is the 25th flight for the first stage booster supporting this mission. After separation, the first stage landed on the Just Read the Instructions drone ship. I think it's the best name that they have. That was stationed out there in the Atlantic. Lake County school leaders are looking at the future of Eustis Elementary.
Plans are set to give the century-old school new life. Next at 5, we'll look at the improvements and when work could begin.
Plus, we're used to seeing some controversial moments in the NFL playoffs on the field, but coming up, we want to hear from you about a viral post-game press conference. It happened right after the Jags game.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Launch Credit Union.
Are you ready to explore Central Florida like never before? I'm Joey Manna.
And I'm Kara Moeller, and we're your News 6 Insider Guide.
Being a News 6 Insider means you get an inside look at wildlife and stories that make Central Florida unique.
This is really, really cool. From day trippers to everyday wild, we bring you the stories and adventures you won't find anywhere else.
Signing up is free and easy. Just go to clickorlando.com/insider to get exclusive access to our videos, special content, and our weekly newsletter.
Tonight, the Lake County School Board will once again discuss rebuilding Eustis Elementary.
The 100-year-old school is special to the community, and plans to give it new life are set to push that forward. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez is in Eustis with more. Well, the weather this week will look like something out of your favorite theme park.
Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas is breaking down the roller coaster temps we are seeing this week.
Yeah, and we have a short fuse little cold down right now. We woke up to that this morning. A nice rebound today with the sunshine anyway. Cool right now. Certainly throughout this evening, may want a jacket. We're in the upper 50s in Ocala, the Villages. Good evening. We are at 58. Kissimmee, we are at 65 degrees. Pushing 70 in Titusville. Very nice along the Space Coast this evening, right at 70 degrees for us in Melbourne going forward. Now, tomorrow morning, we are back into the mid-50s in Mount Dora, so certainly not as chilly. A couple of notches even above where we should be for this time of the year. 46 in Ocala, Denellen, we are at 44 degrees. High temperatures tomorrow, rebounding back into the lower 70s for us in Orlando. Mount Dora, we're at 71. That's right where we should be for this time of the year. So a nice quick turnaround again in the temperature department. That rain chance you see right here, that's going to come late into the evening, and that is going to be out ahead of a very, very strong cold front that's going to change things up just a little bit. So here is our cold front from this morning. It's pushing out towards Bermuda and then back down towards the Bahamas. That cooler air certainly filtering in last night and when we woke up this morning as expected. High pressure now dominating the southeast corner of the United States. Right here coming out of the Hudson Bay. See that cold front? That's the big one. That's the one with the bite to it, and that one arrives Wednesday into Thursday. And by the time we wake up on Friday morning, I think the coldest air of the season is going to be settling in. And then we even have another one on top of that for the start of next work week. So we're going to get back into the winter pattern real fast here. 7 to 8 o'clock on your Wednesday, we're fast forwarding to the arrival of the front. That's when we'll see the opportunity for some scattered showers, maybe a rogue rumble of thunder, but we shouldn't have too much fanfare with this one. Once we get towards 9, 10 o'clock on Thursday, secondary push of moisture coming through as the front itself makes a run for Central Florida. Now, as we get into Friday morning, stopping the timer here at 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday, you see all the clouds out of the Florida Peninsula, big chunk of high pressure overhead. And that is when we wake up to some really cold air, rivaling the coldest air we've seen so far this season. Now, this is going to be on Friday morning, so we're fast forwarding out to the end of this work week. Averages are in the upper 40s. That'll put us into the low to mid 30s in Orlando, mid to upper 20s for us in Denellen, back to Ocala, the Villages, into Bushnell as well. 34 in Daytona Beach. We're back to the lower 30s in Palm Coast. So it is going to be pretty chilly over the next couple of days. Now, here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Payne Law.
So tomorrow, again, back to where we should be, back to the lower 70s. As we get into Wednesday, rain chances start to go up a little bit. We'll see extra clouds. That's the reason why we are cooler. That front arrives on Thursday. High temperature is going to struggle to get back out of the 50s. And then here comes the real big-time chill. We're back to the mid-30s again on Friday, staying in the 30s when you wake up on Saturday morning. And you see it right there. There's really no big warm-up coming this time around. We're going to get a secondary shot of colder air by the start of next work week. Temperatures getting back only into the low 60s for highs on Monday, guys.
Ooh, there is a chill coming. All right, thank you, Jonathan. Well, a week from today, a new champion will be crowned in college football.
We now know who will be playing for the national title. Coming up, we'll take a look at the game and the long drought that Indiana and Miami are hoping to end on the national stage.
Watch Stephanie Rodriguez, your News 6 Osceola County community correspondent.
Celebrate the teachers making a difference. Nominate your favorite now at clickorlando.com/educator of the week. And watch every Thursday morning as we spotlight a new educator of the week.
You are the educator of the week from News Channel 6.
Sponsored by Osborne, Francis & Pettis Law Firm.
Stay connected. Follow News 6 on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Comment on your favorite videos and let us know what you want to see more of. Sponsored by the Florida Lottery.
The Jacksonville Jags season comes to an end after a 27-24 loss to the Buffalo Bills yesterday in round 1 of the playoffs.
Yeah, the NFL is no stranger to controversy during playoffs on the field, but this year there's a little debate over a post-game interview with the Jags head coach Liam Cohen. Was it appropriate is the question. Take a listen.
I just want to tell you, congratulations on your success, young man.
Thank you.
You hold your head up, all right? You guys have had a most magnificent season.
Thank you.
And you did a great job out there today.
Appreciate
so you
it.
just hold your head up, okay?
Thank
and
you,
ladies
ma'am.
and gentlemen, Duval, you the one, all
Thank
right?
you, ma'am.
keep it going. We got another season, okay?
I appreciate
Take
it.
care and much continued success to you and the entire team.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, you can see here Cohen smiling as
Right.
the reporter's offering some encouraging words for the first-year head coach who makes somewhere in the neighborhood of $10 million.
That doesn't matter. That was nice. No, this story, it doesn't matter how much he makes. This story sparked a lot of debate in our newsroom today, and it became the topic of our poll for the day. Do you think a reporter's encouraging exchange with the Jags head coach was appropriate? So far, most people say yes, they are fine with it, 84%. And we want to know what you think. You can take this poll at clickorlando.com/react. or go to our News 6 Facebook page. He had already been asked several other questions at that point in the press conference.
In a press conference,
what are you going to say?
As a journalist, you ask questions, right?
That's right.
You don't just make statements?
Their season is over. I think that is the statement.
Here's my question. I just think you're wonderful. Okay. Here's a look at the rest of the playoff. That is for you, yes. The Buffalo Bills will head to Denver to play the Broncos Saturday. Meanwhile, New England Patriots will wait for the winner of tonight's Steelers-Texans game to see who will head to Foxborough Sunday. The Seahawks, who look really good, they're going to take on the 49ers Saturday, and the Bears go against the Rams on Sunday. Man, these games have been so good. I know they've been watching them at your house. We don't know the times yet for these games, but those will arrive soon, I'm sure. Meanwhile, the stage is set for the college football national championship.
Can you wait? In exactly 1 week, a new program will be crowned in Miami. The Miami Hurricanes will be taking on the #1 seed Indiana Hoosiers at Hard Rock Stadium. Kickoff is at 7:30. And the Canes got a big win on Thursday against the Ole Miss Rebels to secure a spot in the national title game, thanks to a late fourth quarter touchdown run by quarterback Carson Beck. Then on Friday, Indiana dominated the Oregon Ducks in Georgia, winning 56-22. Indiana is hoping for its first ever football national championship. Miami has not won a football title in football since 2001.
Definitely the two best teams are in that championship. Leaders in Port Orange are heading back to the drawing board in search for a developer to bring the city's Riverwalk to life.
We are now learning the original developer has walked away from the project. Coming up, what this means for the future of the project is it could look a little different than what we've seen before.
Soon, more officers will be running radar here in Sanford. We're looking into how the city plans to spend thousands of dollars on enforcement and what difference it could make.
Watch Jana Manohalal, your News 6 East Orange County community correspondent.
We are following several top stories right now.
Yeah, a bomb threat prompted a lockdown at several Lake County schools this morning, with Lake Minneola High School at the center of it all.
The lockdown ended this afternoon after Lake County Sheriff's deputies canvassed the campus. Lake County Schools says an anonymous caller made the bomb threat against the school, but says there was no reason to believe it was a credible threat. This is the third threat made to Central Florida schools in a week.
A house fire in Palm Bay has left a 10-year-old boy and an elderly woman dead. This happened around 2:20 this morning on Janus Road Northeast, west of I-95. Palm Bay Fire Rescue says firefighters found a woman outside the home who the two others were trapped inside. Unfortunately, fire officials say they just couldn't get to them in time as that house was largely consumed by fire.
The Orlando City Commission just voted on advancing the permanent Pulse Memorial. It is a long-awaited step for a project nearly a decade in the making. The memorial will honor the 49 lives lost during the 2016 mass shooting at the Pulse nightclub in downtown Orlando. Crews recently removed artifacts from inside the nightclub so the city can demolish the building.
Well, does Sanford have a speeding problem? News 6 is learning the problem is serious enough. The city has been awarded thousands of dollars from FDOT in an effort to try to reduce the number of crashes caused by speeding or aggressive drivers. Your Seminole County community correspondent, Catherine Silver, is live at the police department for us this evening. Catherine?
Sanford police will be asked to look at the area where the most crashes are happening on a bi-weekly basis, and those are the locations where they will likely focus these enforcement efforts. We also looked into the impact that similar efforts have had in places like Orlando. That same report that we showed you shows that Orlando police used over 1,000 overtime hours, and they were able to reduce the number of crashes involving serious injuries or deaths by roughly 30% compared to the 3-year average. I'm live in Sanford. Catherine Silver, News 6.
Catherine, thank you. Developing tonight, Marion County deputies releasing video of a high-speed motorcycle chase ending with a man behind bars.
It looked like he was reaching for the gun to turn around and point it at me, but he ended up tossing it on.
Deputies arrested 46-year-old Terry Fisher after they say he sped off from a traffic stop on Wednesday. They say he was weaving around construction cones when they tried to pull him over. During the chase, Fisher allegedly tossed methamphetamine, cocaine, and a firearm from his motorcycle. A second deputy joined the pursuit, and canine units helped bring it to an end. Fisher is in custody on several charges, including fleeing and eluding and possession of a firearm as a convicted felon.
In Apopka, a two-car crash sends a police officer to the hospital. It happened last night around 11:45 at the intersection of Clarkona Road and Cleveland Street, just southeast of Phyllis Wheatley Elementary School. Apopka police say the officer went to the hospital as a precaution. FHP says the driver of a Hyundai Genesis, a 19-year-old man, did not go to the hospital, stayed at the scene. We're still waiting to find out what led up to the crash. We'll let you know when we learn more.
Port Orange city leaders are back at the drawing board this week, opening their search for a new developer to bring their Riverwalk dream to life. The highly anticipated project was meant to turn this area into a buzzing spot with shops, apartments, and entertainment. But the original developer just walked away. Now, as your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed reports, residents will have to wait a little longer before they see any real progress. Pass a budget. That is the only job Florida lawmakers have to do, yet starting tomorrow. Everything from what your kids learn to what you pay in taxes to AI and gun laws will all be on the table as the legislature begins its 60-day session.
The city of Orlando is welcoming its new leaders into the council chambers. A swearing-in ceremony took place this morning for commissioners representing Districts 1, 3, and 5. District 1 is now represented by Commissioner Tom Keene. District 3 by Roger Chapin, and Commissioner Shan Rose will represent the District 5 seat. Commissioners Keene and Rose won their race in the November election, while Commissioner Chapin won his district in a runoff that happened in December. Another candidate for the crowded Republican field in the race for governor has tossed his hat into the ring. Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins has officially announced he is running for that seat. Collins confirmed his run from a post on X. Just in August of last year, Governor Ron DeSantis appointed Collins as the new lieutenant governor after that seat remained vacant for 6 months. Other major candidates running for governor next year include former House Speaker Paul Renner, Republican Congressman Byron Donalds, who already has an endorsement from President Trump, former Congressman David Jolly, who is now running as a Democrat, and Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings. He is also a Democrat. We all know Florida is an amazing state to live in. With that, we're seeing more and more people move to our beautiful state.
That's right. A new study is showing which part of Florida might be a top choice. Coming up, we're looking at the list of cities and telling you which was the top spot in Central Florida. Jonathan.
If they moved here for the warmth, they might not like the forecast over the next week. Big-time blast of Arctic air arrives by the end of this work week, likely rivaling, if not even exceeding, the coldest air we've felt so far this season. We're going to break that part of your forecast down coming up at about 5:47.
And there's a change in place that could affect your mail, how you can make sure you don't accidentally send your important mail too late.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Shark Coatings. Did you know you can pin it with News 6? Share your best moments with your community using our updated News 6 app. Stay connected by sharing everything from new places to explore to those beautiful Florida sunsets. You can pin it anytime. Just snap a picture or video, open the News 6 app, select menu, and pin it. You might even catch your pins live on News 6 or clickorlando.com. Search WKMG in your app store today.
A heads up, if you still pay bills or send important paperwork through the mail, a new post office rule that took effect on December 24th changes when your mail gets postmarked, and that date can be the difference between on time and late.
Instead of being stamped when you first drop it off, mail can now be postmarked when it reaches a sorting facility. Alex Cook is in Kissimmee with what this means for your mail and the people most at risk of getting caught in the delay. All right, I know when you woke up this morning, you probably said to yourself, wow, it's really cold. But it was actually closer to normal
We're just not used to normal anymore.
We're not used to the new normal here, Jonathan Kagas.
Just wait until you get to the end of this 7-day forecast. There's a big chill coming, likely rivaling, maybe exceeding the coldest air we've seen so far this season. Right now, it's not doing too bad out there. We're in the low 60s. Jacksonville's in the lower 50s. Some of that chill is still hanging out there, but it is going to be a little warmer tomorrow. We are back to closer to where we should be for this time of the year. If you've peeked ahead to the forecast, you can do that by downloading the free News 6 weather app. You can always stay up to date with the forecast. Then you know it's going to be cold. I want to show you something cool if you're not looking at your TV screen right now. So what I have for you here is something called the backwards trajectory model. You take it out to the date you want and then run it back. You can find where the air mass is coming from. So these are the current temperatures right now. We're back to 61 in a lot of Central Florida, 61 at the Orlando International Airport. Follow this red line back, go around the Hudson Bay and then hanging up towards the Arctic Circle. That is where our next air mass is coming from. So this is going to be a pure Arctic air mass sliding through. Actual air temperatures right now are 20 to 25 degrees below zero. Of course, it is going to modify. We are not seeing that here, but as it dips south, again, that's going to be the source region for the cold air that is going to blast in Thursday into Friday. Again, coming straight from the Arctic Circle as we go forward over the next couple of days. Really, as we get into Wednesday, especially Thursday, by the time you wake up on Friday. Temperature anomaly map here, the darker the blue and into the purple. That's where we're going to be way below normal. And again, we're going to be running about 15 to 20 degrees below normal. That's going to be on Friday into the start of your weekend. But then as we get into Sunday to Monday, a third cold front comes through and kind of reinforces the chill. You do see some orange building by the third week of January. That's the January 22nd there. We get back in on some of the warmth sliding across the deep south. But it is going to be chilly over the next couple of mornings. This is for Apopka, for example. Lower 50s tomorrow, pretty much right where we should be. Back to the upper 50s on Wednesday. We're doing all right on Thursday as well. And then the bottom falls out. There is Friday morning right around the freezing mark. We're back to the upper 30s, still really cold on Saturday morning, chilly on Sunday. And then there's another blast of colder air again, all coming from the same place. We could even be colder as we get into early next work week. So again, this is going to be an extended stretch of colder air. No doubt the longest stretch of the colder air we've seen so far this season. Here's a live look outside Port Canaveral, Brevard County with our Launch Credit Union camera. Air temperatures right now in the low 60s. We have some sunshine out there. Also, you can clearly see the clouds. The breeze out of the north, of course, at about 10 miles an hour, helping to pump in some of that warmth. There is our front from this morning. It's way back into the Atlantic Ocean. Again, we still have a few clouds hanging around, but otherwise, we're doing pretty good. Now here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Advent Health.
So again, all that stuff I showed you before, that arrives Thursday into Friday. Tomorrow, you might want the light jacket or the hoodie if you're up early, but we are going to be doing about 10 degrees warmer than where we were today, 40s and 50s across the board. High temperatures tomorrow getting back into the lower 70s. That rain chance, that would come late, and that's way out ahead of our big-time blast of cold that sends us back down into the 30s and likely 20s on the map. So there we go on Wednesday, 67 degrees. That rain chance is out ahead of our front. The better opportunity for rain comes on Thursday as the front itself comes through. There's the chill, guys. 20s and 30s Friday morning. Highs will struggle to get out of the 50s. We keep our sunshine, though, and then there's that secondary push of cold air by the time we get into Monday.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Well, over the past few years, we've seen a lot of people move to the Sunshine State.
But according to a new study, there is one community that's better than the rest. U.S. News and World Report took a look at the quality of life, cost of living, crime rate, and the job market to come up with this list. Statewide, the top-ranked city in Florida is Parkland. Here in Central Florida, the top spot is Alafaya in Orange County. Other local favorites made the top 10 as well, including Ormond Beach at number 7. And the Villages made it to the 9th spot. We posted the list of 50 Florida cities on our website. Just search for this story on clickorlando.com.
The Alafaya area over the east side of Orange County. Well, the state is looking to crack down on students skipping school.
Coming up, what some newly proposed laws would do to get kids back in the classroom.
Coming up in the morning, another school district cracking down on e-bikes.
The new rule up for a vote, all designed to keep kids safe.
Plus the push to stop another toll road.
We'll see you on News 6 Morning starting at 6.
Watch Jarrell Baker, your News 6 Orange County community correspondent.
Next ET, inside Hollywood's Party of the Year. E.T.
at the Golden Globes.
The fun, the fashion. Her heart will go on.
Yes, her heart will go on.
And the fearless.
Happy New Year, E.T.
Next ET.
Tonight at 7 on News 6. Stay connected. Follow News 6 on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Comment on your favorite videos and let us know what you want to see more of. Sponsored by Lexus of Orlando and Lexus of Winter Park.
Ginger Gadsden is in the newsroom with what we are working on for News 6 at 6.
Lisa and Matt, fake threats at Central Florida schools having real impacts on families.
I don't know how I feel about letting her come to school, honestly.
The latest bogus threat and the serious consequences for making one.
Results after a News 6 investigation. Last November, we told you about an Apopka family who lost tens of thousands of dollars after a roofing company cashed their insurance check but never replaced their roof. Now, another company saw that report and is replacing the family's roof at no charge. I'm investigator Louis Bold, and we'll have the story next.